Hey folks, it's KayakDIY here, and today I'm going to review the new kayak that I just picked up. So if you guys haven't been able to see it already, well, I'm sorry. I ended up doing an Instagram post actually just about a day or so ago when I picked it up, and I haven't shown anyone this kayak yet. Not even a lot of my friends yet have seen it. This is a kayak that I saw at iCast that I wanted to get my hands on. So I normally do a lot of pedal kayaks, but I wanted to find a really good paddle kayak. And I fish in the Gulf, and so I wanted something that was easy to transport, because a lot of pedal kayaks can be somewhat tiring at times to paddle. And well, I ended up getting basically my dream paddle kayak right now. And let's take a look. Here it is. It is the Viking ProFish Reload Z. That is a mouthful. Here it is. I have it sitting on the kayak launch right now. Now you guys might be asking, why did I choose this particular paddle kayak? Well, there's actually several reasons. For one, New Zealanders know how to do offshore kayaking. The New Zealanders, that's pretty much all they do is offshore kayaking. Grant over at Viking made a lot of great choices in the design of this kayak. Ones that me, coming from a lot of kayaking experience, really appreciated. Number one, a lot of kayaks will have a big hatch sitting right about there. The problem with that is, if you go through the surf, all that force of water goes right into your hatch. Not here, not on this kayak. This kayak here, you have some deflection, and then the water can run off to the side. You get virtually no water in this hull. Another reason why I really liked it was, for one, they really looked at not necessarily going with the norm of, hey, you need to have a big stadium seat in order to be comfortable. That's hogwash. You don't need a big stadium seat to be comfortable on a kayak. This is actually much more comfortable, I think, than my Hobie Tandem Island. Sorry, Hobie, you might not like me for saying that, but I paid out of pocket for the kayak. I have a very non-biased approach with how I go about doing reviews. So I paid out of pocket for my Hobie Tandem Island, and you can trust that when I say this is more comfortable, I'm telling you the truth. So this has a Manta seat, and it looks a lot like the other universal seats, but it has a non-skid bottom that grips the kayak hull. And you can really adjust those side straps to really wrap around your back and give you a lot of support. The other thing that I really like about this kayak, there's so many different things actually. The other thing I really like about this kayak is the reload pod. So it's called the reload for a reason. There's actually a pin right here, and you can pull this whole pod out and swap it for different pods. One of the things that Grant at Viking and I were joking about is, now granted, women and women and men both do a lot of kayak fishing, so this isn't meant to be sexist, but we just use this as a example. You can actually get a children's pod on here. So we were saying that, you know, guys can say, okay, well, you know, I want to get the kayak so that you know, I can take the kids out. You put the children pod in here, great excuse to be able to get the kayak. And then you could swap it for the tackle pod with the sonar, and you could leave the wife on the beach. Probably won't get you brownie points, but it was just a joke that we were kind of talking about. So here is kind of a look at it. So you got a spot to be able to hold like tackle. This bungee actually comes off of here, and then you can open it up. You got a generous amount of storage inside. You got actually a spot right here where you can mount your fish finder. And one of the things I'm probably gonna do is, I have a Humminbird Helix 5SI, so it has side imaging that shoots off. I'm gonna probably use that on here because it's what I have. But there's a company out of Australia and it's called Burley Pro, and they make a really good sun shield, which the sun's out right now. And if you ever had to read a fish finder without a good sun shield on, you have to crank that brightness up a ton in order to be able to see anything. Well, that eats up battery life. So I'm gonna probably put the Burley Pro sun shield onto my, you're asking, is it fast? We're gonna find that out because I'm actually gonna hop in it. Granted, I'm not offshore right now. I am in a Gulf Ocean access canal. That's where I live. So this is brackish water. It leads out into the Gulf Ocean. So eventually I'm gonna get you guys some footage of it in real world offshore conditions. But we're gonna see how fast it is here. But I can actually tell you something else. I got some actual data on how fast it is, because if you guys looked at my videos about Bixby, B-I-X-P-Y, the Bixby Jet is a motor kit that you can put on your kayaks. The Bixby Jet performed best with this kayak, and in terms of efficiency, speed, everything. So if you look at their data on the Viking, you'll be able to see how it performs in relation to other hulls. So yes, it is fast, but I'm gonna try to show that to you here too. I haven't been able to paddle this a whole lot since getting it yet. So you're gonna get kind of a first review on the water type test. For a paddle, I'm trying out the new Backwater Assassin paddle. This isn't meant to be like a, hey, buy this paddle. It seems to be a good quality paddle. It's carbon fiber shaft. It says that it's a hybrid of a high-low angle paddle design with the blade. We'll see if that's true. With this particular kayak, you're gonna wanna paddle in a relatively high angle fashion and get that blade as close to the side of the hull as possible. And that's the reason why Grant designed this kayak to have a very low spot right here and narrow spot, so you can get the blade of the paddle really close to the hull. That's important because if you end up getting the blade far away from the hull, far away from that center line of the hull, you're gonna actually be turning the craft more than you are propelling it. So that decreases your speed, decreases efficiency. So we're gonna try to do high angle paddle strokes, something I'm somewhat used to. I kind of got to retrain myself after I get used to each kayak. But let's not ramble on any further. We're gonna lower this in the water using the kayak launch that I got. The kayak launch was given to me. So just to remain non-biased and full disclosure, the kayak launch was given to me in order to do some reviewing and testing. But I do love it. It's super awesome. There we go. Nice thing about the kayak launch here is I have oysters on my seawall, and oyster rash is a beast on kayaks. So that would not be fun to continuously hit with my new kayaks. So I try to get it to where it's just barely floating. I do have a wide cradle on it right now because I had some wider kayaks. I'm gonna actually switch it over here probably pretty soon. I lowered it down just a little bit too far. There we go. It's kind of difficult to do while I'm filming with my phone. Okay. So I'm gonna have to set my phone down just a second here so I can adjust what I'm doing here. There we go. There. Okay. So you're getting a non-edited version of just me doing what I do on a daily basis. Let's see, maybe I can stick the phone right here. So I'm gonna try to just give you my feedback. With it being really long, obviously it doesn't turn as well. It doesn't like to have to turn. I gotta get used to these foot pedals too here with the rudder. And I'm not sure that I have, out of the box, I don't know that I have the rudder's controls set exactly the way I want them. It's because I've been kind of tweaking this to get it kind of to fit me. So what I can tell you is the hull moves through the water really easily. It's really easy to get a nice smooth paddle. I think I have to adjust the foot pegs up here a little bit towards closer to me. So to adjust the foot pegs, you just kind of pinch the back side of these and you can adjust it there. See, I think I have to change these because there's too much slack in them. I have to adjust this. So I'm kind of treating it right now as if I don't have much of a rudder at the moment, just because I don't have it quite set the way I want. There we got some birds. These birds here eat a lot of grubs out of the lawn in Florida. Okay. So, other thing I want to talk to you guys a little bit about. Stability. How does it feel when I'm sitting on here? When I'm leaning, does it feel like I'm gonna tip? I mean, I'm leaning pretty well. You can kind of see my head is actually outside of the gunnel area. It kind of just stops. At some point it just stops and you don't feel like you're tipping anymore. Remember you from the hospital. Mar Gaming. Possibly, I don't know. And depending on how it is, if you were a patient, I couldn't probably say much, but due to HIPAA violations. So yeah, I probably can't say much if you were, but if you were a patient, hopefully you're feeling a lot better. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know, but can't talk about that probably. Anyway, yeah, so here is kind of a look at it. The rudder, yeah, like I said, the rudder, I'm hitting these toe controls and they just have too much slack. I need to tighten them up, but long story short, you kind of just barely tap them and you can adjust your rudder, which is in the back right there. The other thing you're seeing in the back is a Railblaza starport, and I put a little camera mount on there, which is made by Railblaza. We sell a lot of that stuff in our Amazon store. If you guys are wondering what our Amazon store is, it's basically the way I fund the channel. So it's Amazon products that I choose and that group members choose in our Facebook group, and it's items that we use every day. We try to pick the ones that are the best quality, best money or value, and then we end up putting them in the store for easy shopping. So if you buy anything on there, Amazon gives us a little kickback to fund the channel. But primarily I do a lot of rigging with Railblaza. I also use some Scotty products and others, but let's look at how much storage we have here in the hatch area. So there's kind of a look at it. You got some of the paperwork still in there. You got a decent amount of storage. I mean, you probably can't see it too well, but I'll easily be able to put a battery in here to power the fish finder. I'll be able to have all that stuff in here, and plus have some extra tackle in here, and maybe a pliers or other items. The way you reload the pod, see this little clip here? You pop that out, and right here is how you pop the pod out. So that was one of the other cool things I really liked about this. And you just gotta line up the two. The thing is, it wants to float a little bit, so there we go. I got the pin back in. So in terms of fasteners and all the hardware on here, it seems like it's well made. Like I said, you can access the hatch if you need to. All you do have to do is just scoot your bottom up this direction. It's a lot better than it being way up there. I could easily reach it right now, but I'm holding onto my phone. I don't have this kayak set up completely for filming yet, so that's one of the things. Going back to the paddle, you guys probably didn't get to see the paddle too well. So the paddle has a hook on it, and it has these little serrations. The serrations are so you can push off of things. The hook is so you can grab things. It's kind of useful. I mean, it kind of makes this paddle more than just a paddle. I mean, you can use it as an actual tool on the water. So that's really nice. In the back, I don't have one of the accessories yet, but in the back here, they have what's called a chill pod, and it's an insulated pod that has a flip-up hatch. That is sold separately. I think it's about 249 bucks, but it's cool. So I think I'm gonna try to get that for this. It has 4 rod holders inside, and the rod holders, I believe these ones, yeah, these ones stick out, so you got kind of like your trolling lines, and then you got your storage, which, or you could, I guess you could troll with them, but I don't like to troll with my lines directly back. I usually like to have them off to the sides. It's just preference. Also, so if you don't want to go with the roto-molded insulated cooler in the back, you can actually go with a soft-sided cooler setup that they have. They got a bunch of different options for this kayak, with different ways for you to load it. Other cool thing is right here. I mean, look at the nice placement of this hatch. I'm sitting facing forward, I put my hand back, and right there is a hatch. Now, what are a lot of people using this hatch for? If you open it, you notice it has a drain. They're using it for shrimp. So they'll put shrimp or small bait fish in there, and they have a spot for them. I mean, it's really cool. There's one on the other side as well. Same setup, has a drain. They position the hatch right next to where a drain would be. So that's pretty cool too. You got a nice cutting board surface. You got a bungee up in the front if you want to just quickly slide your paddle in like that. You have a paddle keeper here with bungee. So you just set your paddle there, wrap the bungee around there, now your paddle is being held in place. The handles on this thing are robust. So look up in the front, you got a nice generous bow handle. You got 2 handles on the stern that are very large sized, which make maneuvering this thing really easy. The other ones that I really like though are these. Look at these. These things have a nice generous feel. I got big hands, plenty of grip space. So it's easy to just manhandle this thing or woman handle it. I mean, there's some really tough women out there. Easy to grab these and maneuver it however you need. So it's pretty cool. Very happy with this. This is the kayak that I'm going to be doing a lot of fishing from. I might even be using it more than my other more expensive kayaks, just because it's a nice size. It is going to be very efficient and easy to paddle on the water, because that's a big thing. There's a lot of kayaks that are very comfortable to fish from. There's a lot of kayaks that can store a ton of fishing gear, tons of fish that you might catch, but there's not a lot that are also easy to paddle or move through the water. A lot of the fishing kayaks become more like barges. So sure, if you get a good pedal drive, you can maneuver through the water pretty easily. Your legs are pretty big muscles, but pedal drives come at a premium, and they also have some of their own faults, which for one is depth, water depth. You can hit obstacles in the water, and that's no fun. So if I'm going through certain areas and maybe I get up on an area in the flats where some redfish are or so, I am going to basically not be able to, I won't be able to use my pedal drive as well. Hobie is one where you can use your pedal drive reasonably well, because you can put the fins on the underside of the hull. But even then, there's just something nice, I think, about going back to doing more paddling. And so yeah, that's what I'm looking at doing. Also, if you ever lose a pedal drive, like let's say it falls overboard, oh my goodness, is it expensive. They can be $600 to $800 at least for a pedal drive replacement. That's craziness. Also, some of the seats, very expensive. And like I said, this seat is incredibly comfortable. So you see right here, I got these straps. I can grab this, and it pulls this up to support my lumbar area, and it wraps the seat around me. This seat, by the way, you can actually get for other kayaks. I believe it's available at Yak Gear, and possibly we might be getting it into our store as well. Which this seat is my new favorite universal clip-in seat by far. For the money, from what I saw it was running, for what it feels like right now, it does a great job. I think one of the key features is it has a gripping bottom. So the area that I'm sitting on, the actual cushion area, on the underside, it grips to the hull of the kayak, so it doesn't slip and shift around. It stays in position. So I think that's one of the key features. Another thing is it also has really good fasteners. So these fasteners aren't gonna rust like some of my other ones did. Yeah, I wanted to open up the hatch so I could show you guys what that looks like. So let me use my paddle bungee here. Get that kind of position there. And I'm gonna just kind of, what I'll do is I'll put my feet on the sides and I'll straddle. Just pop this, pop that. And right there is all the space. So I mean, that is a lot of space. They said they designed it that way, I believe, so that you could put dive fins and so in here. I'm pretty sure I will say that this rubber hatch probably won't come open on its own, like general paddling. So I probably don't have to put these buckles back on. But for going through the surf, it's kind of nice that they have them. You could also break down your rods if you're coming in to the surf, and that way you don't run risk of losing your rods. There. It's just kind of difficult to do some of this though while holding my phone. Which, mind you, my phone is not in a waterproof case. So that also goes to show that I'm kind of pretty comfortable on this kayak, and I don't think I'm gonna actually go in the water anytime soon. Granted, the water is pretty flat. I am gonna get this kayak out and get it out into the Gulf, do a little bit more aggressive fishing, try to get a camera set up that works for what I want to show, the camera angles, and be able to really put it through its paces and give you guys a true representation of this. There's just not a whole lot of content, I feel like, out on the Viking kayak, and it's kind of sad because this seems like one heck of a nice kayak for the money. And they actually sell some Viking kayaks at West Marine as well, but I don't think they sell the ProFish Reload Z, which is this model. So I'm kind of wedging this phone here into my life jacket. So notice the blade is getting really close to the side of the hull here. That's important. So if you guys are commenting, I will say it's pretty difficult for me to tell on the water, but I'm gonna try to look. Let's see. It is a really cool backyard to have. I'm reading some of the comments that you guys have put. Matching shirt. Yeah, I have always liked this color scheme, so right now I'm trying to read all your messages. Okay. 4 Mile Cove. You know, I've heard that name come up a lot. I don't think I've actually been to 4 Mile Cove yet. I've gone to 10,000 Islands. I've gone to Sanibel, Matlacha, Captiva. I've gone to, let's see, Blind Pass. So this actually is a canal, and the canal leads out into the Caloosahatchee River, which goes out into the Gulf. Within about 30 minutes by boat ride, you can be easily out into open water. So this is a Gulf Ocean access canal. And I know you guys might be thinking, oh my goodness, this guy's rich. You guys, I still have college debt. I mean, and I'm not like a hedge fund baby or anything. I come from a middle-class family. We prioritized and made it happen. We work hard. My wife is a nurse. I'm a nurse. I work 2 days a week. And the rest of the time I try to maintain this YouTube channel and manage some other networks associated with kayaking. But if you get on the Gulf Ocean side of Florida, there's actually some pretty affordable waterfront homes. So granted, the insurance can be a little bit pricey sometimes. That's one thing I don't like about Florida here. But still, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be able to make anything happen and live on the water like here. I was planning on some little landlocked lake, you know, surrounded by cornfields and such. I come from Iowa, That's where I was born and raised. Just north of Veterans Parkway. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'm kind of surprised I haven't checked that out yet, but I've heard a lot about it. It's just there's so many areas around here which are just great kayaking areas. So that's not my boat. I don't really have much of a boat other than my $250 sailboat project that I bought, which I'm still fixing up. And I'm planning on getting you guys some videos on that too, just for the heck of it, because it's so cheap. But I really love YouTube Live. It's nice. I love being able to connect with you guys, and I learn actually a lot from you guys. The only thing I don't like, I think, about the live portion is it won't keep the messages on my screen. It wants to like kick them out after a while. I have to like keep tapping the screen in order to be able to see them, which makes it kind of difficult when you're paddling. So in Israel, you guys do a lot of kayaking? I'm not gonna lie, my geography is really bad over there, like in Israel and that area. I don't know a lot about that area. Not to stereotype, I honestly thought that in Israel it was a lot of deserts and stuff, but I do know you guys have some seas, because I come from a Christian background where we ended up reading about a lot of the different seas. So Mediterranean, yeah, yep. Yeah, I would love to be able to travel more and see more areas. Maybe as this channel grows, and which I'm already very happy with all the support I've gotten from you guys in watching the videos and whatnot. But as the channel continues to grow, I hope to be able to travel more and share more things with you, which brings me to my next thing. So I've been brainstorming on how I can create a more interactive experience. Ideally, this is not still the best setup. I did talk a little bit in the past about how I wanted to be able to maybe have a drone that follows me and all this other stuff. But I think I'm gonna actually maybe consider going with a really good quality virtual reality setup where you guys get to choose what you look at. So you guys will never ever miss anything. It'll be like you guys are actually sitting on the kayak, and the videos will be able to have that feeling of you kind of create your own experience. So, you know, as I turn my head right now, I'm seeing different things. You guys will be able to do that and look within the video and see different things. So if I'm reviewing a kayak or doing some fishing, you guys kind of get a, I don't know, I guess not have me dictate what you see. You guys get to see everything. So that is the direction I want to go with the channel. I want to try to utilize some of the best technology that we have in camera technology. And I think that's going to be my next big purchase here for the channel. Here's actually my house, if you never got to see it from the water. So this is a 1960s home. There's my little sailboat. Those davits, those cranes I put up. They were free actually. A guy was getting rid of them. And so I ended up getting them. I had to use an engine block crane to lift them up and get them onto my seawall. There's my kayak launch. That's one of my kayak racks that I built. This is a mango tree, and that's a Hawaiian lei tree. That's kind of a look at my house. So we got about 80 feet of seawall that came with the house to play around with and have fun with. The value actually was not bad. It was not overly expensive. This house wasn't. So while you guys might think, oh my goodness, this guy is loaded. No, I'm not. If this house was on the Miami coast, it would have been outrageous, like millions of dollars probably. But on the Gulf Ocean side, it was not much difference in price compared to a South Dakota or Iowa house where I would have been kind of surrounded by cornfields and farmland. Well, you got to have dreams. That's the biggest thing is, you know, you gotta have dreams, and look at small goals. Look at like tangible goals and set them for yourself. And you know, if you want it bad enough, I truly believe you can make it happen. You just have to prioritize. You can't have everything, so you need to choose what is more important to you. And for us, we wanted to be out on the water, so I sold a lot of other things I had. I used to be big into hunting. I used to own a lot of guns. I used to work for a gun company, in fact, which has military contracts. For a while, when I was when I was about in high school, I was building AR-15 trigger assemblies in my basement. I was one of the first employees of a company that has now grown to be quite large. So yeah, I mean, I sold a bunch of my guns in order to be able to afford a down payment on this home. I downsized a ton to make it work. We ended up, I still, like I said, I work as an RN. I work as what they call a vascular access nurse. And I place IVs on difficult patients that don't have good access. That's what I do. Oh, turn the camera? Yeah, I'll gladly do that. Thanks for the request. Probably got bored of looking at my mug. So there you go. So this is looking, going out of the canal. I'm trying to kind of, there you go. So our canal, we'd go straight, and then we go this way, and then we go out, and we'll get to open water. It doesn't take too long. I've done it by kayak, but if I want to get out into the ocean, I would probably have to do something to modify this particular kayak to get out, because from my house to the ocean is about 20 to 30 minute boat ride. And so for this kayak, they do make what's called the Bixby Jet. It's a little motor kit which would help with getting you out there quicker, because otherwise, if you're paddling, even though as fast as this kayak is, you'd be paddling for a long time unless you plan on camping out somewhere. Which, if I go out of this canal and I go hang a left and then I go out, I'll get to the open water of the Caloosahatchee River, which is a big river. It's almost like the size of some lakes. And then that river, we're really close to the mouth of it, and that is basically the Gulf Ocean. And next to there are several little islands that you can camp out at. So what I'm planning to do a camping trip with this kayak. And I'll end up probably launching at some different areas, and I'll pack, you know, various equipment into the hull and show you guys how I plan to pack it, and then do some fishing. I mean, that's one thing, honestly, I've been very busy with doing different things. I feel like I haven't been able to really enjoy doing some good fishing out on the water. Like, just, I don't know, I've gotten swamped kind of lately. I also had a birthday recently. I hate saying how old I am, because I feel that people are probably gonna judge me. They're gonna think I'm too young to be trusting, you know, my judgment on kayaking, or I don't know. But long story short, I just turned 30 years old. I feel great. I love it. I don't pay attention to age. I don't think it's important. But I turned 30 years old, and my parents flew down from Iowa and surprised me. And we've been remodeling my house, because my house is a 1960s home, and for the most part, we haven't prioritized remodeling the house. We've just been trying to catch up, get established in jobs, and get some content out on the channel. So we actually don't even have a floor in our master bathroom. Goliath grouper. We do have some really big fish down here. Yeah, Goliath grouper are massive. I seen that I saw a guy hook up to a Goliath grouper. It was by the Sanibel Island fishing pier. I think he put on, I didn't recall, or I don't remember what kind of bait fish it was, but long story short, that bait fish was about as wide as this kayak. Like, it was about as long as this kayak is wide. That's how big the bait fish was. And all of a sudden his line was just spooling out. He almost got spooled. It almost took all his line, and there was really no fighting it. I mean, the guy was kind of undergunned. He didn't really have the fishing set up to do it, and I don't think he was expecting to get such a large fish. So here's kind of a intersection of our canals. What's cool is the canals have like names, almost like streets. So there's San Diego Canal there. Our canal is Santa Cruz, and then I think this one down here is like San Jose Cruz, or San Jose Canal. So all the different canals have these like street signs. I've had dolphins come up in this canal system. Actually, that house over there has dock lights, so at night I would go fishing the dock lights, which I don't do a lot of filming at night because, once again, it's very difficult to get good footage at night. I'm just trying to figure out how to best get this footage. So I haven't shared some of it with you because I don't want to share cruddy footage. I'm trying to keep clean. And I'm sorry if it's kind of jumpy here with the camera because, yeah, the camera is essentially my phone. I'm running live, and it's a little bit difficult to see on the screen, so I have to kind of create a sun shield, which, if you guys were looking earlier, that's what I was talking about. On this kayak, a lot of people mount fish finders, and so they'll mount the fish finder right there. This is called like the tackle pod, as you can see there, and it has access through the hull to be able to have your transducer right below, and you have your battery inside. Well, a company called Burley Pro out of Australia, they're a great company. They kind of have a DIY background. They're always innovating. I don't manufacture things to really sell. I come up with the ideas kind of, and then I just kind of share my ideas with people. But this guy actually manufactures a lot of it. And he makes the Burley Pro sun shield for your fish finder, and it wraps around your fish finder, and it allows you to be able to turn your brightness down on your fish finder, which in turn greatly increases your battery life. So that's just something kind of related that I thought I'd mention, because right now it's difficult for me to see my phone. You might be getting a kayak again since you're having outboard issues on your jumbo. Dude, you know, that's the thing with boats. I mean, they're pricey. They're pricey to keep up. I still want one because I'd be able to get out to open water quicker. I'd still probably stack kayaks on it because I just like the feeling of a big fish towing me around on a kayak. There's something just exhilarating about it. So I feel like the fishing experience is so much better on kayaks, but for where I live right here, it's still a pretty good distance for me to be able to leave my backyard though and get to ocean water. I can do it probably from the sailing kayak, the Hobie, but any other kayak like the Pro Angler, the Outback, or even this kayak, it's gonna be a pretty decent jog. I mean, I'd have to be camping out on one of the islands, and if the weather changes, it would be pretty interesting, and based on the currents as well, it would be probably pretty difficult. So yeah, I think I will probably still end up getting a boat, only so that I can probably take some of the kayaks with me and get to certain areas, rather than having to load them up on the car and trailer them to different areas. I could just take the boat. So I think that's what I'm looking at doing. But if I get a boat, I'm gonna probably go with one that has a little bit of a cabin, just in case I get to an area that I can't get onto an island and camp at. I like camping on the islands. I mean, because I never thought in my wildest dreams that myself, being a guy growing up in Iowa, or a kid growing up in Iowa, I was surrounded by cornfields, and we just had little ponds that we fished on, and I never would have thought that I could actually ever even be on an island. Like, that's craziness. So anytime I have an opportunity to maybe pack a hammock or anything and get to an island and string it up, I'm gonna take that opportunity. That and some of my good friends do it as well. If you guys have seen 30 Miles Out, and if you've seen Trip Smith, he was previously, his channel went by Sailing and Such. He does a ton of kayak camping, and those are two really good channels to check out if you haven't already. They're friends of mine, they're people I like. We don't get to hang out a whole lot, but we do similar stuff. We make videos, and I've got to meet them at ICAST. So yeah, if you want to check out their videos, maybe there's something there for you guys as well. I'm not the type of person that says, hey, only watch Kayak DIY. If you don't watch Kayak DIY, no, I don't do that. I pretty much try to give you guys the best information, and if I can't, then I'll point you where you can. So yeah, stability. Once again, let's look at this. So I mean, I am really leaning. I'm trying to get a good feel for it. The thing is, I don't have my waterproof case. I'm purposely not using a waterproof case because then you wouldn't be able to get sound. But later on, when I do a full review, I will push this hopefully to the limit to where I can tip it and try to give you a better feel of where the tipping point is. But what I can tell you is this thing feels stable. I'm not gonna fall off of it, I don't think, very quick. I mean, unless I was going in the surf and got caught sideways, I don't think I'd probably flip on this. For one, I got such a low center of gravity. So the area I'm sitting on this kayak, the way it's designed, you really are sitting pretty low in this, so it's kind of tough to flip. Plus, this has a tri-hull design, so it kind of has that it's, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of 3 hulls in one, and so you get that a little bit of initial tipping, but it stables out once that one piece of the tri-hull kind of gunnel area gets almost flush with the water. It stops. Let's see, I gotta try to read what you guys are saying as you go. I really wish that they would change this live feed to be able to make it where I could see the chats continuously. What kayak is this again? So this kayak is the Viking Profish Reload Z. That's the kayak. And they make a couple different models. They make a 440, they make a 400. Basically, they're different sizes, a little bit different setups. But for the most part, they have a long, sleek hull, and they're well known for being very maneuverable on the water, like good speed, efficient paddling. That's pretty much what they're really known for. They're made in New Zealand. I actually have a little tag here that says made in New Zealand. The owner, his name is Grant. Viking Kayaks Profish Reload Z. Yep. And they're well made from what I can tell. I mean, the only thing I will say, I've had this issue with every kayak that has this, is the area. See, like here you got the paddle bungees. These pieces right here, they always want to break. I don't know, I bump into them, they always want to break. Luckily, they're easily replaceable and they're dirt cheap. You can see right here, I broke one. They do have it recessed, which is nice. They have it a little bit recessed here, so That's better than a lot of companies, but that is one area that I think somehow maybe could be improved. But other than that, I am stoked to have this kayak. I am so ecstatic. I love it. I have a lot of things I want to be able to do with it and test out on it. For one, I've always wanted a kayak which had hull design, which is the long and sleek kind of hull, because I wanted to try out the sails. You ever see those pop-up sails that they have? I think that'd be fun to play around on one of these. Also, this kayak, they make the Bixby jet, B-I-X-B-Y. I've said that earlier. I'm not gonna get into much elaborate details, but it's a little motor basically that can mount onto different kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, all that sort of thing. Our video that we did on that has over like 60,000 views. So this kayak has a lot of different ways you can rig it. It's just, it's super comfortable. Oh, another thing about this kayak. So if you look at in terms of ergonomics or like comfort, you know, you're looking at this kayak and you're like, it's a sit on top. How comfortable can it be? You know, you don't have a stadium seat like the big boy kayaks supposedly have. So I have the big boy kayaks, you know, like the one, I've had the pro anglers, I've had all the ones that everyone rants and raves about. They're great kayaks. I'm not dissing them at all, but they're not the only kayak out there that is super comfortable. They're just not. If you get a kayak that's a sit on top, that's done right, it can be just as comfortable, if not more. So you'll notice here that you have this molded, or this universal style seat. So you have strap going forward, and then you have the straps that clip into the back. It's kind of probably difficult to see, but you got the seat here. Well, you're sitting low, and then all of a sudden here in the hull design, they have a little hump here, and then it comes and swoops down. What's cool is the water runs off and goes right into the scuppers. So that's cool because it helps kind of keep the water away from your bottom. But also having that little ramp there, kind of, it really adjusts the angle for the way your back is. And it makes it to where your back you don't really get that lower back pain. So I don't know how to describe it other than the fact that this is just crazy comfortable to sit in. I would have looked at this and I wouldn't have immediately thought that, but I really am a stickler for comfort. I really like being out on the water for a long period of time. This kayak is very comfortable to sit in. The way you have for your straps here, so you got your straps, pull those and it wraps that seat right around your lumbar area and locks you into the kayak, kind of, so that you feel really solid and one with the kayak. So you can feel every movement and be able to, you could probably even, like if you're on the surf, you could lean and carve with the kayak. If you had strap braces even, you really could do some fun stuff on the surf with this kayak. Like the thigh braces. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the review, live review and reveal of the kayak I got. Let's see, how about the buckle on the front hatch? Seems like it would be complicated, I think you said complicated, to deal with on the water. So here's the deal. That buckle, I don't feel like it's absolutely necessary always that you clip it. The hatch has a really good solid feel to it. It's a rubber one. It feels really tight when you put it on. We got a boat here that's making some noise, but the hatch actually fits on pretty snug on its own. I don't think you have to have those buckles clipped at all times. So like, I wouldn't worry or stress out if I didn't always buckle them. I would primarily want to have them buckled if I was returning in from a surf. That's when I'd really want them. Hey, I'm gonna try to paddle and just kind of paddle with these waves. I don't know. I'm pretty much able to keep up with him. I can't say that I'm really winded. So, yeah, in terms of the hatch, I honestly don't think it's a big issue. I like that it has the option of buckles, but I don't know that's a major issue or anything. If I had my waterproof case, I think I'd probably try to stand up on this thing because I think I could do it. Other thing is accessibility. So a lot of kayaks, they don't have good accessibility from where you're sitting to be able to reach and grab things. I can easily reach behind and grab my fishing rod. It's very accessible. Here is a look at the fishing rod in the forward position. It does stick out. We got some people working on a new house here. Sorry for the background noise. Let's see here. What I'll probably do, what I would actually do if I was out on open water with this too, is I would have a paddle leash. That way, if I hooked up to something big too, and I wasn't able to get my paddle immediately into a paddle keeper, then I would be able to just drop it. Okay, let's see here. Trying to read what you're saying. Can you put your fishing rod in the console hatch while on the water? Oh, like this one or that one? Which hatch would you like to see it in? You want me to see me put it into this one? This happens to be actually a telescoping rod, but I could probably put this in either one. No, I mean, either one, honestly. If I wanted, I could probably put this fishing rod into this one, or I could put this fishing rod into that one while on the water. I'm quite confident of that. Ooh, we got some trash in the water, which is a great lesson actually here for everyone watching. If you see trash in the water, pick it up. We're gonna have to try to, just a second guys, I gotta probably, might have to put this phone down. I gotta get this out of the water here. Any fishing can wait and anything else can wait. Wow. Okay. I gotta take a quick little break here. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna lock this into here and see if I can't go get this darn bucket of, it's a 5-gallon bucket that's floating in the water. I hope it's one of those Yeti ones, or even better, that $120 bucket. That'd be pretty cool. I definitely would have to sell it. Oh. Okay, that's an example of trash. It's not supposed to be there, and yeah, we're gonna throw it in the back of the kayak. Okay, back in business. So sorry for being a little bit ADHD here, or jumping around from topic to topic. Yeah, I know, free bait bucket. So yeah, anytime you guys are out on the water, if you see trash, just pick it up. Granted, you know, one piece of trash, maybe in the realm of things, isn't significant, but if one person picks up one piece of trash and you have billions of people picking up one piece of trash, that's a big difference. So I encourage you guys to do that. Yeah, I guess I'm not entirely sure what else to possibly show you at the moment on this kayak. I'm still learning a little bit about it and what I like about it. I think there's a lot of options for how I can go about rigging it, and I'm excited to be able to have this here. Got my tackle kind of set up here. I'm gonna eventually get my fish finder on there. Need to adjust these pedals. There's a lot of slack here, but then I'll be able to have my rudder working the way I want. Basically, I just have to kind of adjust this kayak cockpit area to fit me kind of like a glove, which I think it's going to be able to do, because it's already kind of given me that feel. So let's see, any last and final items here. Okay, just a second. I was trying to read some of your comments here. ACK has a picture of someone using pool noodles to keep items from sliding from one part of the kayak to the other. I believe they put in an area that helps prevent it sliding now. I believe they did change that now. Thank you for reminding me on that. I'm gonna have to look. Don't know that I'll be able to do much looking at the moment, although why not? I'm gonna end up moving my stuff here out of the way, and then we'll do some looking inside the hull to see if they put any stuff in here to prevent the stuff from sliding around in the hull. There you go. This is going to be an upside down view, but there's kind of a look. I have no idea what you guys are seeing because I can't see it. There we go. Perfect. Okay, better get back to paddling. Got some people coming in a boat. I don't want to run them over accidentally with my big Viking kayak. Okay, I narrowly escaped with my life. Okay, yeah, so I don't know what you guys saw in the haul. I couldn't see it. I just put the camera in there for you guys to be able to take a look. But I believe that they're aware of it and that they were gonna start increasing some of the foam stuff like right there in that area. So basically you guys are talking about having like a foam block right here so that stuff up here doesn't slide back to where it's not accessible. I believe that they're aware of it. I thought that they were doing it. Maybe I got a model that did or didn't have it. I have no idea because I haven't looked in there at the moment. So I will have to take a look and see if it has that or not. But yeah, I am very, very, very happy with the Viking ProFish Reload for first impressions. Basically, take this for what it is. It's first impressions. I am not an expert on Viking. I am just currently a happy owner of one, and I'm hoping that that continues to grow as I get more and more familiar with this particular kayak. But this, I believe, is gonna stick around at the KayakDIY house for quite a while. This is gonna be pretty much one of my primary paddle kayaks, and I think I'm gonna go meet up with some other people that I know that do a lot of kayak fishing as well, and I think we're gonna maybe see if we can't slay some fish and get you guys some video of it. This upcoming year, my plan is to be able to get more immersive video for you. Nothing like you've seen in my past videos. Nothing at all. Totally a whole different experience. You guys are gonna essentially be dictating in every video from now on, hopefully, if I get this equipment, you'll be dictating what you see and how you experience every video. You'll be able to watch the videos multiple times and experience it differently every time. So that is the direction I want to go with this channel. I want to be able to have you guys connect and be able to really feel like you're out on the water here with me, so you can get a good representation of how these kayaks perform. Because the main reason why I wanted to get another drone was to give you another perspective, another viewpoint. And I just think that I'm wasting my time if I do try to just get multiple camera angles. Instead, why not give you everything and let you fully be immersed in it and be able to choose what you see at every given time. And I think that's the best way to go at the moment. And when I end up doing it, I will take into consideration your guys' viewpoints on that, and you'll tell me, I hope, whether or not you're enjoying the videos more or less. And if you don't like it, then we'll go to plan B, and we'll find another way for you guys to be able to connect and get the full experience of what these kayaks have to offer. And not just this kayak, but any kayak I get my hands on. So I have opportunities to get a lot of different kayaks. I'm very blessed to be able to, because of viewers like you. And yeah, I want to be able to make sure that I am giving you guys the best possible content. And yes, that comes at an expense, but you know what? Even if my channel continued just the way it is right now, I think you guys definitely deserve that. And I'm blessed to be able to live the life I live at the moment, even with what I have right now. So I'm gonna try to make it happen. I'm gonna try to end up getting this new equipment, and hopefully we can get some more immersive content. With that being said, if you guys haven't already, if you want to help support me doing this, check out amazon.com/shop/KayakDIY. If you click into that store and you buy anything, not even what's in the store, Amazon will give us essentially a kickback, and it will help fund the purchase of new equipment. I'm not going to tell you you have to. I'm not going to be like, hey guys, do this or you're not a good subscriber. You know, it is what it is. If you guys do it, it's greatly appreciated. If you don't, I still love you guys anyway, because you guys have been able to let me live out my dream. So with that being said too, if you guys ever end up in Southwest Florida, I hope you guys reach out, because if I am free and available, I will meet up with pretty much anyone, complete strangers, I don't care. I mean, I love connecting with other people. So yeah, this is a really long video, but hopefully you guys got something useful out of it. And yeah, this is the area in which I live. It's Southwest Cape Coral area. It's Cape Coral, Florida, and we love it. It's great. It's a dream come true, and it's all because of people like you guys. So take care, be safe out on the water. I recommend you wear a life jacket, but I'm not going to beat you up if you don't. You guys are adults. So I gotta find out where the I gotta find out where the off is on this thing. It's so difficult to see. Oh, there we go. This is the bloopers end of the video.